going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building, and today I'm gonna call a pretty big shot. Now, if you don't know, Def Jam has been on Twitter teasing a new game, even going as far as to saying, once we hit 1 million followers, we got a special announcement for y'all. Now, they have finally hit 1 million followers. We haven't heard anything yet, but we got a lot of game shows coming up here, so it's possible we may see that announcement at one of these game shows. Why is that possible now after all of this time? Well, if you don't know, the team that made the original Def Jam games, Vendetta and Fight for New York, they were disassembled a long time ago, but just here recently, they have actually gotten back together. Now, we won't talk about Def Jam Icon because a different team made that game. Now, the original team is currently working on AEW Fight Forever, but being that they are back in full swing, they could very well be working on the Def Jam game as well. So with every qualification being met, if we are set to get a new game, there's a few things I need to know. Will they be able to live up to the greatness we got in the first 2 Def Jam games? When would this game be released? Where would the setting be? And who would be on the roster? Welcome to the Dream Room. This is where I can give you my dream scenario and let you know exactly what I would want to see from this game. So we already did Def Jam Fight for New York. It was great. I think it's time to move on. Maybe we do Fight for LA, or even if you name it Def Jam Hollywood. I think LA would be the perfect setting for the next Def Jam game, being that, you know, there's a lot of hip hop culture there and it's pretty much going crazy in hip hop right now. So let's do Def Jam Hollywood. Next question, who would make the roster? I got my picks right here. So we're going to run through this board and I'm going to let y'all know which rappers I would want to see in the game, but I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know who I miss or who you agree with. Let's do it. All right, so first up we have DaBaby. I don't see how you could have a new age Def Jam game and not put DaBaby in it. He lives it in real life. Ever since he popped off, he was fighting fans, his security guard, went crazy on his baby mama and fought her brother in a bowling alley. Now, he has been in some trouble here lately that unfortunately has pretty much derailed his career, but give the man a check. We got to get DaBaby in Def Jam. Next up, we have 21 Savage. 21 Savage just had his possibly his biggest album he dropped with Drake. So he's in the spotlight right now. He's been also saying some crazy stuff. So I don't know, 21, but you know, one of the most popular rappers in the game right now. And I think he would actually do it. So get 21 Savage in Def Jam. Next up, we got Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown is an R&B singer, but from what I hear, they say Chris Brown got some squabbles. So, I mean, the guy likes to fight. I heard he even beat up Frank Ocean, I believe. So, yeah, if he's a fighter, get him in Def Jam, R&B or not. Next up, we got the guy in this whole list. If they only put one person in the game, we got to get Kodak in there. Kodak is probably like the most entertaining rapper just for no reason. So nothing else to say. Got to get Kodak in the game. Next up, we got Lil Durk. It's a tough one because just he got so much beef with a lot of these other rappers. I mean, I don't know if he would actually do it, but even if he did, some other rappers might not do it because he's in the game. So this is a tough one. I don't know if you'd want to go this way or not, but I'm not a fan of Lil Durk's music, but I respect him because he's been in the game for a long time and he's still in the game. He's actually bigger now than he ever was. So, you know, you got to give it up for Lil Durk, one of the biggest rappers in the game. Got to get him in there. Next up, we got Lil Uzi Vert. He's another small guy, but got the squabbles. If you remember, he jumped over that counter, beat up Rich the Kid, another rapper who's scrappy and likes to fight. Get him in Def Jam. Next up, we got Jack Harlow. They've been feeding us Jack Harlow for a long time. Pause if you need that, but I don't see the craze with Jack Harlow. That First Class record went #1. I don't know how, but you know, we haven't seen him in a while. His album dropped and he's disappeared. So maybe the Jack Harlow project didn't work. But I mean, either way, we gotta get some diversity in the game. You got a white rapper, we gotta get some white characters in here as well. So, but throw Jack Harlow in there. Next up, we have a few women we're running through. Pause. A few women that we're gonna get in the game. We got first up, Young Miami from the City Girls. If Diddy got anything to do with it, Young Miami's in. You know, cut the girl a check. We got to get some women in here. She's one of the biggest, would I say rappers? I don't know. She's one of the biggest personalities in rap. So yeah, she gets her spot. Also, same with JT. You know, they, well, JT said she writes her music. I don't think Young Miami writes hers at all, but, you know, even though the music's not great, they're still hanging in there because a lot of rappers are fly by night. They come and they go. These two are still hanging in there, still relevant. So get the City Girls and Def Jam. Cardi B, another tough one. It's another tough one because Cardi B, I think, might be the biggest female rapper in the world right now, but she still doesn't put out music. But when she does put out music, it kind of catches every time. I think that's why she doesn't want to put out any albums, because if it does less than people would expect it to, then it's going to kind of put her in a bad spot. But I'd say she's a tough one because, you know what? Just spoiler alert, Nicki Minaj is not on this list, because I don't think, even if they offered her, like, hey, you want to do this game? She's going to say no. She thinks she's bigger than these type of things. But if Cardi B's in this game, she's definitely not going to do it. So they would have to make a pick. Do y'all want to see, well, they would say, hey, do we want to get Cardi B in this game, or do we want to get Nicki Minaj? Because we're not going to be able to do both. Offset does play games. So even if the game was to come out, if they came to Cardi B, Offset would say, yeah, you should do it. Nicki Minaj, I don't think she would ever agree to do something like this, just because you'd be able to see these other girls beat her up, even though it's fake. You know, some people are like that, and I think that would be Nicki Minaj. So I say we get Cardi B in the game. Next up, we have Doja Cat. Doja Cat, I think she might have lost her damn mind recently, because she don't got no eyebrows anymore. You know, she got a bald head, which is fine. Bald head's fine. But to shave off your eyebrows, I don't know. I haven't seen her since she's done that either, so she's kind of disappeared. But she plays games as well. I think she actually streams her games, so I'm sure she would accept it. She might even be excited to be in the game. So, you know, we got to get some females on the roster. Let's get Doja Cat in there. Next up, we have Big Lotto. I don't think she would mind doing it. She's definitely not bigger than the game. It would be a good look for her. She a baddie too, so got to get Big Lotto in there. Next up, Young M.A. Now, is it offensive that I put her with the girls? I don't know. You know, I'm not trying to get canceled. I don't want to be on no DaBaby stuff, but I didn't know which way to go with this one. I don't know if I should have put her with the fellas or put her with the girls, but we went ahead and put her with the ladies. Young M.A., I'm sure she would do it. You know, definitely rugged. Throw Young M.A. in Def Jam. And last but not least, we have Remy Ma. I would think she's like more of in a legend category. And this is another one. Nicki Minaj would not be in the game if they said Remy Ma was going to be in there. And I'm sure she would be willing. Again, some of these rappers, they're going to want to pick up them checks. So I think she's a good addition. Next up, we have, back to our modern rappers, we have Lil Baby. A lot of people say Lil Baby is the most influential rapper today. And he doesn't seem too big-headed. Seems like if he doesn't have to do the work, he'll be willing to get the check. So I'm sure he would agree to be in the game. And again, with him being one of the biggest rappers today, he does put up some of the biggest numbers. You got to do everything you can to get him in there. So pay that man. Let's get the baby in the game, or Lil Baby in the game. Next up, we got NBA Youngboy. This one can kind of go either way because he's a weird guy. I don't know if he'd be willing to get in the game with guys like Lil Durk, or, you know, honestly, who cares, man? It's a game. Get your bag and keep it going. He's one of the most popular rappers. Again, maybe they're aging me out, but I don't see why. I can't really get into the music, but, you know, him as a personality and character, definitely interesting, and it would be cool to see him in the game. Next up, Young Thug, man. If he innocent, free that man. If he's not innocent, maybe he's learned his lesson. Free that man. Yeah, he kind of, you know, he was kind of like a Lil Wayne clone, like a wannabe Lil Wayne when he came out, but he actually has his own kids in the game. You know, you got Young Thug, who's a Lil Wayne. He's like a child of Lil Wayne, and then you have all of these other rappers who are children of Young Thug. So, like, I guess they're grandkids. And honestly, that's the Lil Babies and the Gunners. So, it is what it is. One of the most influential guys in rap. Put Young Thug in the game if y'all can get his stuff together. Trippie Redd. Trippie Redd's another guy who plays games. I'm sure he would be willing to get in, but he is one of the most underrated artists since, I say, 2017. But the thing is, he still does the weird things that were acceptable in 2017. He hasn't grown out of those things, which he really needs to, because I think it's a tough point in his career right now. He hasn't even dropped the album this year, where he normally does 2 albums per year. So, you know, I'm hoping for Trippie Redd to win. Great music. I'll say great artist as well, because he does help smaller artists also. So, you know, let's get Trippie Redd in the game. Next up is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne used to do all of these features. You know, he was the biggest rapper, without a doubt, at one point. As y'all can see, we already got a spoiler of Lil Wayne up there. But, yeah, I don't think he would be against using the game. At this point, he's kind of just getting his bag anyway. He's doing a lot of features with smaller artists that you probably never heard of. You just hear Lil Wayne on a random song because he's not trying. I don't know if he wants to be the biggest artist anymore, but he's definitely not that, and I think he understands it. So I think Lil Wayne will be open to getting in the game, and I'll be glad to see him in it as well. All right, so next up we have Quavo. Quavo is one of the most influential rappers of the modern era, maybe all time even. You know what? In fact, we got Offset there as well. So these two, when they came out, Takeoff as well with the Migos, I mean, everybody started rapping like them. It was just crazy. You heard everybody doing that. Just crazy. Eminem called it out on one of his songs that everybody's coming up with the same flow, and it's true. But these guys actually started that flow. Unless they stole it from somebody underground, whatever, that's not a big deal. What matters is they brought it to the light, and everybody ran with it. So we got to give Quavo, Takeoff, Offset, we got to give them their flowers. But they should definitely be in Def Jam. Next up, we have Kendrick Lamar. So here is going to be our West Coast section. Our West Coast section. Because if the game's going to be Def Jam Hollywood, we got to get a lot of West Coast artists in there, because if not, it just wouldn't make sense, wouldn't be right. Fight for New York, we had a lot of New York artists. This way, we got to get some LA representation. So next, yeah, we got Kendrick Lamar, one of the biggest rappers in the world. Would he ever do a Def Jam game? We don't know much about Kendrick Lamar, actually. He kind of keeps everything private, which, you know, I'm not mad at, but if they can get Kendrick Lamar in this game, that'll be huge. They need to do what they can to try. You know, if you're going to do Def Jam LA or Hollywood, we got to get Kendrick Lamar in the game. Next up, we have Blueface. Say what you want, though. I like Blueface. I like his music. Well, he doesn't really put out music anymore, but the original music he's been coming out with, I thought was really good. You know, he got a lot of street antics going on right now, you know, especially with his girlfriend, but definitely entertaining. Got a show coming out, so he'll have that spotlight. He'll be able to pull in a different crowd of people to play the game if they see him in there. I mean, he looks like a fighter. He does do boxing, so got to get Blueface in there. Next up, this is one I was questionable about, because talk about a huge fall off. He was possibly the biggest rapper when he dropped The Box. That song caught fire on hip-hop, on TikTok, and it went diamond. But now the guy can't barely sell 20,000 records. So this is tough for Roddy Ricch, but he's respected in LA. You know, they would actually love to see him in. So get the guy in there. Next up, we have Tyler, the Creator. I always thought Tyler, the Creator was from New York. I don't know why, but he is from LA. He's a you know, big time rapper to a certain audience. You know, my sister loves Tyler, the Creator, and other sister loves Tyler, the Creator, but I don't really hear too many people asking to bump him. But I mean, he's popular with kids and, you know, women, so throw Tyler, the Creator in there. He's entertaining as well, so I don't think it would hurt. We got YG, one of the biggest rappers from LA. Throw him in there. We got AD from Nojumper. AD from Nojumper. AD going crazy in LA right now. He's doing a lot of things, you know, more in the podcast space right now, but he is kind of trying to rev up the music again. So we'll see what we get as far as music. But I mean, he's out here fighting people. He's out here fighting people, boxing on Instagram. So hey, fighter, get AD in there. And we got the game. Now the game, probably the biggest clout demon in rap. And it's a shame because he was actually a great rapper during his time. Now the music isn't hitting like it used to, but I mean, he's getting older. He's been doing it for a while. What do you expect? Everybody's not going to stay in the sun forever. Just the thing he did with the Eminem diss on his last record kind of shows how much of a bad spot he's in right now. But again, I think the game is a legend. He just got to chill out. But yeah, I can't have an LA game without the game. I think he's probably the biggest modern day LA rapper in recent history. Next up, we have xxxtentacion, as you can see from the spoiler right here. So this is going to be for the rappers that passed away in this section. You know, give a shout out to them. I'm sure their families would love to get the paycheck. And you know, a lot of them say we're gonna make their names live forever. So this would be a good way to do that, or help do that. xxxtentacion, I think he would have been one of the biggest rappers today if he wasn't killed. He was on a crazy upward trajectory. He started off making one type of music, and he started to catch fire, and completely switched to another type of music and started to catch more fire. The guy was creative, man. I mean, you know, you hate to see what happened to him. Such a young kid, promising future. Again, I think he would have been on top today if he was still alive. So, you know, give Cleo that paycheck because she a baddie too. Next up, we got Nipsey Hussle, LA legend. You know, what more could you say? What more could you say? You know, you hear all of the positive things about him. While I'll say, you know, you didn't really hear much about him while he was alive. You know, after he died, so much people, you know, came forward saying what he meant to them. That was probably, I'll say it was really big when he died. So, you know, throw Nipsey a lob, get him in the game. Next up, we got Draco the Ruler, another big rapper in LA who got killed at a festival out there. Again, just crazy. It's crazy how much we can go through these rappers, just murders after murders after murders. But he was on the way up as well. Get Draco in the game. Next up, we got Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was another artist from New York. Now, it's been kind of tough for New York artists, but Pop Smoke was on the way up. Another young guy, man. Just killed for, you know, just for nothing. Just for stupid reasons. Next up, we got King Von. Now, this one is crazy. This one could be controversial because we know the things King Von have. We know what he's done. Some crazy stuff, allegedly. But again, didn't deserve to lose his, well, nobody deserves to lose their life. Just a crazy situation. It shows you gotta watch out. Don't do things off impulse. Gotta be careful, man. R.I.P. King Von. But yeah, get his family a check, get him in the game. Next up, we got FBG Duck. Could they put both of these guys in the same game? I think it would be huge if they could. So, crazy YouTube videos people would make if they did that, though, being that this is a fighting game. But FBG Duck, he was the biggest piece from his side. And after he died, unfortunately, we really don't hear much from that side anymore. So, give it to Duck, you know, get him in the game. Unfortunately, he did some crazy stuff before he passed as well that possibly caused it. So, just gotta be careful, y'all. If y'all got ops, man, make peace. Next up, of course, we got Takeoff. Takeoff being the most recently passed on this list. You know, you never heard anything negative about Takeoff, man. But unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time. They took him out. One of the most influential rappers, as we already stated, with Takeoff and Offset, not Takeoff. Man, you always get a mix up. Quavo and Offset, but Takeoff definitely does deserve, you know, to get some type of love, and I think this would be a good thing for him. Next up, we have our legends. And don't tell me 50 Cent's not a legend. 50 Cent's another one who's up there with the most entertaining rappers of all time. 50 Cent, think about it. You got Power. For one, Get Rich or Die Trying was one of the best albums of all time. People sleep on The Massacre because that was a great album as well. His albums after that, you can say whatever about him, but his movie was good when he first came out. He had the G-Unit shoes. I know y'all had a pair of those. Come on now. The G-Unit clothes. So y'all wasn't out here rocking G-Unit with the do-rags. 50 Cent was another influential rapper. You know, huge for New York. Think about his beef with Ja Rule. Man, crazy time in rap. We don't give 50 Cent the love he deserves for the run he had, which everybody does love his TV shows now though. Power, you know, BMF. You got a lot of them. So 50 Cent definitely a legend. So don't question it. We got to get 50 Cent in there. I'm sure he'll do it. Legendary rapper. Let's get it done. Next up, we have Eminem. Would Eminem do a Def Jam game? He's done some games before, so it's definitely possible. We know he is a recluse, but also Eminem's a legend, so don't question it. Now with him, his first 4 albums were fire. After the first 4 albums, he took that break and came back, and everything was kind of watered down, not as hot as it used to be. But I think we could still get Eminem in this game. Not current day Eminem. We got to get the old Slim Shady in there. Make it happen. Next up, we got Snoop Dogg. I mean, of course. Is Snoop Dogg the most famous rapper of all time? Probably. And the thing with Snoop Dogg is, you know, he had hot music back in the day, but now his music is still cool. It's Snoop Dogg music, but I mean, he's still, nobody will ever say Snoop Dogg fell off because he's Snoop Dogg. Legendary. You can't make this game without him. He was in the last game, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind being in this one. Would they be able to put Jay-Z in this game? A young Jay-Z, not the Jay-Z with dreads. I think it'd be cool. So yeah, let's get Jay-Z in this game as well. A lot of people say Jay-Z's the greatest rapper of all time. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I believe that or I think that, but definitely a legend in his own right. If a lot of people are saying he is the greatest rapper, then he's definitely up there. No, I'm not going to say my opinion is gold, which it is, but it's not the final word. So yeah, I think Jay-Z should definitely be in the game. Now, our last 3 spots, they're blank. That means I need y'all to tell me who I missed in the comment section. Who do y'all want to see in this game? Now, you could say Drake, Nickiminaj if they want to be in the game, but I think they're way beyond it. And also the guy Kanye West definitely should be in there, but today, just today, I think after what he did with Alex Jones, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for Kanye. The guy's wilding out. You know, he's stating his opinion, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, you got a lot of rappers that can fit in these 3 spots. I need y'all to tell me 3 rappers. I need 3 that y'all want to see in this game. If it was me personally, I would say Kanye West, Ski Master, Slump God, and put Drake in there. But Drake, Kanye, I don't think they'll do it. Ski Mask, he's kind of honestly fell off the wagon here in the last few years, so I wouldn't say we need to see him in Def Jam. So that's it. These are the rappers I would want to see in a perfect world. Of course, this would probably never happen. Too much politics, too much money to be passed around. But if we were to get a perfect Def Jam, I think this would be it. Let me know what y'all would want to see from a Def Jam game in the comment section. Make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and never forget, if you fell down yesterday, stand back up today.